Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I decorated my tablescape for Thanksgiving, so let's go ahead and jump in. After thoroughly cleaning my table, I'm going to start by laying down a beautiful terracotta cheesecloth that I got off of Amazon. What I like about this cheesecloth is that it is not as thin as a typical cheesecloth you would get, let's just say at Hobby Lobby or any other type of craft store. It is thicker, more of a fabric, and it's just so much easier to work with, and it doesn't tear as easy either. This is 10 feet long, and it does come with 2 in one package, but I only decided to use one of them. You will see me going back and forth throughout this video, bunching it up and just fixing it because there's a lot of back and forth when it comes to this particular tablescape, so bear with me. Next, I found this gorgeous fall garland on Amazon. It looks good on its own, but I felt like it definitely needed some help to make it look more luscious and thick and to fill it out. You will see me adding some stems to it here in a second. I will say that I made things much more complicated for myself. I do recommend that if you recreate this or make something similar, to lay your stems down first and then lay the garland on top. To make this as full as I can, I did go and just pull everything out that I could very carefully. Take your time with this because you will pull some of them leaves off. You will also need to do this when it comes to using stems as well. Do that very carefully too, because I did pop some leaves off of the stems, which you will see in a minute. But I really took my time just to fluff this out as much as I could. The first stems that I'm using is a branch/twig type of stem. I was looking for something that looked like it was losing its leaves and also gave some visual interest other than flowers and leaves with the garland, so that's why I chose these. Just like with the garland, I wanted to fluff this out as much as I could so you can see a lot of it, especially when it came to the little twigs and branches. Again, do it very carefully. You will see me pull off some of these leaves, but I end up using them anyway to cover up some of the stems that end up showing. This is what I was talking about when I said I make things more difficult for myself. It's obvious that I should have laid these stems down prior to putting the garland down. Most likely same scenario with the roses, but when it comes to the roses, it gets a little more tricky. But if you were to do this, I highly recommend laying the stems down and then putting the garland down. You will see the stems popping out here and there. Don't worry, trust the process. You will have plenty of stuff to use and it will all come together in the end. So do not worry if you see stems showing during the beginning of the process. Once you get it to where you like it, just try and intertwine and weave the leaves from the stems and the garland together to kind of bring it all together and make it look like one piece. The fall colors I decided to go with were brown, orange, dark red/maroon, roses. I did buy white to bring in some white because you will see me using white plates and white pumpkins later. So I wanted to incorporate white a little bit into the tablescape. These are the colors I chose and they go really, really well with the garland. I will admit that I did a dry run with everything that I had bought just to make sure I liked what everything looked like, if I wanted to add anything or take anything away. So a lot of this was already bent, and then when I went back in to try and redo it for the video, it was a little complicated for me. So I have learned that I should probably film my first go round instead of trying to just recreate it again, because this got really frustrating really quickly. I ended up rearranging some of the flowers around and just taking extra time to fluff everything out to make sure that the stems were covered up as much as possible. It probably would be easier if you cut the bottom parts of the stems off too so they weren't as long. I personally don't like to do that because I like to make arrangements throughout the year in big vases. But if you want to cut the stems off, I would highly recommend it because it would make this process easier. But if you're like me, just take your time, trust the process, it'll all come together, and you really won't see a lot of the stems in the Tablescape in the end. Just take your time, take a deep breath, and try and have fun with it. After you got all the flowers where you want them and everything fluffed out as much as you possibly can, and using the leftover leaves that you break off because you know you broke something off, at least one, after you got everything together, then it is time to take a break from the centerpiece and just move on to setting the table. To save myself some money, I already had these cute little woven placemats. I went on the hunt for some chargers, but I said, you know what, these will go just fine with this Tablescape. I got these off of Amazon, and they look great. They look good. I don't know what I was thinking, but I will link them down below along with everything else. This is when you will find me messing with this fabric a lot, because now that you kind of got everything laid out, I don't like to have anything covering up any of that fabric. You could lay the placemats on the fabric if you wanted to. I just like to bunch it up and make it look even thicker. And also you can take some of that fabric and put it into the garland to cover up things that you don't want to show. My mother-in-law was kind enough to gift me these plates with gold accents on them. If you watched my Christmas Tablescape from last year, I used gold silverware, which is what I will be using in this Tablescape as well. The silverware set was also an awesome find that I got off of Amazon. But these plates were perfect for this Tablescape. I couldn't wait to use them. I love using gold accents when it comes to my Tablescape because I just think it gives a sense of elegance, in my opinion, and a little more designer and high-end. I found these napkins off of Amazon as well. I put together 3 different ways to use these napkins, and I ended up just wanting to tie them in the middle with a loose knot. I think this is super easy. You don't need a napkin ring or anything fancy. Super easy. Just make the knot loose so that your guests can open it easy and use it, but I think this way looks great with this Tablescape. I mentioned not using glasses last year in my Christmas Tablescape. I decided to go against that this year. The only thing was I couldn't find enough little pumpkin coasters, so that might have to change on Thanksgiving, but for right now I'm just setting it on the table and living with it. These might be one of my favorite parts of the Tablescape, along with probably one of my favorite purchases on Amazon. They are a 6-piece tapered vintage style candlestick holder. I absolutely love them. They have 3 different colors that you can buy. These are the bronze style. I just think they look so elegant, really makes a statement with the Tablescape and the vintage vibe they give. I just absolutely love them. I love the different varying heights. They are a little more on the pricey side, but I couldn't pass this up. When I saw them, I just had to get them and do not regret it at all one bit. I just like to stagger them throughout, using the taller pieces toward the end and then the smaller in the middle, just to give more visual interest. These are the candlesticks I was going with. I kind of wish I would have got the twisted candlestick instead of the regular, but you know, I just got to go with what I got at this point. To make the candlesticks stick in the candlestick holder, I bought this wax, like sticky wax type stuff, again off of Amazon. They work great, or I should say it works great. These candlesticks do not move, and it's just really great not to have to worry about a fire hazard. I usually like to use 2 different types of candles when it comes to my Tablescape. So I also am going to use these little tea light candle holders. They are so cute. They look like little elegant pumpkins, which is what sold me on them. I'm going to use 6 of them and just kind of stagger them on both sides, and I just think it gives a really nice element other than just using the candlesticks. The last and final element for my tablescape are these ceramic pumpkins I found at home. I felt like pumpkins are what this tablescape was missing. I was on the hunt for really cute heirloom type pumpkins, using real pumpkins. Nothing was just resonating with me. But when I saw these at home and they were on clearance, I was like, boom, this is what it needs. After lighting all the candles, here she is in all her glory. Get ready for compliments galore, the oohs and ahs, because that is what you're gonna get when people see this tablescape for Thanksgiving, fall, anything that you use it for. I hope this gives you some inspiration and helps you to create something that you will love and people will love. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Christmas is right around the corner and I can't wait to recreate something else for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you on my next one. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.